How to start a phone flipping business and just how much money can you make while doing so. In this video, I will tell you how you can do this to make money easily without having to go through all the trial and errors that I did, so you guys can start making money without wasting your time and wasting your money also. Now, I used to flip phones a lot, right? And I've learned a great deal here, and I lost a lot of money when I first started. Now, I don't really flip phones anymore, at least not like I used to, but I can and I will occasionally, and so I know this still works. Now, this business idea, unlike some of the other business ideas that we've talked about on this channel, isn't one where you need to spend most of the time setting it up and then just getting paid for 5 to 10 minutes of your time daily. In this business, you're going to need to be much more active than that, but the rewards are worth it. Now, just before we get into this business idea, if you're new here and this is the first time you're seeing me, my name is Ian, and here on this channel, I talk about ways to make money, save money, invest money, and anything else that has to do with personal finance. So with that said, give this video a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. And also consider subscribing to this channel. And when you do so, don't forget to turn on the notifications so you can get updated on when I post new videos here, which is at least once per day on YouTube. Okay, so phone flipping. There are a couple routes you can take with this, right? The first is to drop ship. Now, this has never worked for me. I'm not saying it can't work for you, but I tried it and it just never worked out. And I was also never really able to make that much money or any money at all, now that I think about it, from drop shipping phones. I probably tried this 3 times and all 3 times it just never worked out. Now, I think I broke even instead of making profits, and at least I couldn't find the phones at good enough deals to make it worth my while. Now, the second way is to purchase broken phones, right? I tried this a couple times and this does work, but it involves a lot more work. And if you don't know how to repair phones, then you're going to have to learn that skill, and then it just takes too much time. Now, another downside here is even if you know what you're doing, you can still mess up, and if you do, then you may lose the phone or have to spend more money making additional repairs or on additional parts. Now, I'd rather be doing other things than that. Now, remember, this is flipping phones, so we're trying to make some profit the easiest way here. So you can treat this as a side gig or hustle and do other things while you're doing this. So with that said, the third way is to simply get phones for less than what they're worth and then flip them for more money. This is the method I've used, and this way works every single time. So let's talk numbers, right? So for startup cost. Now, this video is based on my experiences, and I'm sure yours may not be the exact same, but it should be very close unless you decide to just copy my methods here, which is fine also. So starting out, the cost will vary depending on what types of phones you want to flip. So you want to flip phones that people want to buy, obviously, but at the same time, you may not want to do the latest model phones as they will cost you much more. Look at the iPhone 11 Pro, for example. That phone retails for about $1,200 on average. So let's say you got it on a really good deal and you paid $800 for one, right? That would be a cost of $800 to buy the phone, and that $800 would be tied up until the phone was sold. Imagine seeing 4 or 5 of those deals at once. You would need 800 times 5 to take advantage of that. That's $4,000 there just from buying 5 phones to flip, which isn't a lot of phones if you're going to make a business out of this. So hopefully you'll be selling more than that on a daily basis. So comparing that with the older model iPhone, which could be the iPhone 10, they retail for about $750 now. So you could potentially find one on a good deal for, let's say, $400 to $500 or thereabout. So right there, you could buy almost double the amount of phones with the same money, or if you're just starting out, the startup cost would be way less, right? Now, I'm using iPhones as an example here, and sure, you can do this with any other brand phones, which could cost you more or less depending on what it is. So the startup cost here can vary and by a lot, but that's how you would go about calculating the startup cost for this business. Now, when it comes on to actually reselling the phone, you may or may not have any cost associated with doing so, depending on how you go about doing this. So, example again, right? If you advertise the phone or phones on, let's say, Facebook Marketplace, then the listing would be free and you and the buyer would meet and you can trade cash for the phone. So you buy a phone for $400 and you sell it for $700 and you make $300 in profit right there. However, if you try to list the same phone on eBay and sell it there, then now you have to consider the fees charged on eBay for cell phones, and it's going to work out to be about 9% of the sale price. And then let's say we sold it for $700 again, so 9% of that is $63, so that leaves us with $637. And then also we have to remember the shipping cost, which is going to be at least $15 at the very minimum. So again, 637 minus 15 leaves us with 622. So the same phone now yields us a profit of $222 instead of $300 if we had sold it in a cash transaction. So depending on where or how you sell your phones, then that will determine the cost if you have any. Now, I used eBay for most of my phone sales, if not all, because it was much easier and it took less time. So this should help you decide how you want to go about doing this. Now, there are a couple things you need to consider before you start this business, or a couple traps that you could fall into if you don't know. So the first one is purchasing a phone on a really good deal, only to find out that it's carrier locked. Now, what this means is that the phone is locked to one specific carrier, so it may not be able to, or may only be able to work on Verizon or AT&T or something like that, right? So phones which are carrier locked are worth way less because whoever wants to use that phone will have to either use the carrier that it's locked to or pay to unlock it so it can work with other cell phone carriers. And if the phone was ever stolen and locked to a carrier, then the chances of this working are very slim. So you want to purchase unlocked phones which can be activated for any carrier and used with any. These phones are also easier to sell and will sell for more money. Also, you need to check this because you can't just take someone's word for it. So to do this, you must get the IMEI number from the phone, which is like a serial number that all cell phones have. And then you can use a tool online to check if the phone is unlocked to work with multiple carriers or if it's locked to one, and you may be able to find more information such as if the phone is reported stolen. So I'm leaving a link down below to a tool like this which you can use to check the phones before you actually purchase them to flip. Another thing to consider here is if the phone you're about to purchase to flip is paid off. So even if the phone is unlocked to work with any carrier, they could still owe on it, or even if it's locked to one carrier. So if you purchase a phone that's not paid off, then you're stuck with a brick unless you're going to pay it off, and then you would be losing money, right? So to make sure there aren't any problems, you can do one simple thing here to cover yourself. So tell the person who's trying to sell you the phone to call the carrier, or you can call them yourself and ask them if the phone is paid off. This is a simple 30-second call, right? If they start acting strange as if they don't want you to do this, then chances are they're hiding something and the phone could either be stolen and barred from being activated again, or it's just not paid for. This one is very important, especially if the phone looks really well and the price is extremely low. Now, before I mentioned 3 ways that you could go about this business, right? The one we just talked about is flipping good working clean phones. Simply buy and resell them. If you want to make more cash off each flip, then use phones with broken screens or damaged, cracked surfaces, make you much more money. Now, if you aren't techie but you want to give this a try, then YouTube is the place to be, because here you can find a video about any type of phone with repairs, so you can see how a screen is replaced for any particular model, for example, and other parts as well. And the tools to do this are also very cheap if you asked me, costing only a few dollars for a toolkit on eBay. So this method can make you more money, but it takes much more time and you have to be much more careful. Now, I didn't want to do it, so I chose not to, but that's another option to consider here. So that's where the cost for this business come in. The cost to purchase the phones is one, which will vary depending on what you want to flip. And then we have the cost of selling the phones on eBay or some other marketplace, which may charge you listing fees if you don't do a cash transaction. And then also the cost of shipping. Now, another cost is the travel expenses to purchase the phones, right? So if you aren't lucky enough to also get the deals online, which you may not, and have them shipped to your door, then you will have to meet people and purchase from them, which will cost you either gas or the cost of public transportation, but that shouldn't be a lot. Now, apart from that, there isn't much else to this business. It's as simple as it sounds. The most complex part is to find a good phone or phones that people will buy quickly, and also being able to get them at deals to flip them for a profit, right? Now, once you have that figured out, then this is easy money. The profits, Well, again, that varies, and my calculations before can help you determine what your profits will be like, so you can know this before you even start this business. But on average, you should be able to make around $100 per phone flip in profit. So to make $1,000 in profit per week, you need to flip 1 to 2 phones on most days. Now, one more thing is how to know when a phone is a deal or how much you should pay for it. And apart from looking at what they sell for on eBay or wherever else you plan to sell them, you can find out what you would get for the same phone if you traded it in with a carrier. Now guys, drop me a comment down below if you like this business idea or if it's something that you've done or you will try doing now. If you're a new subscriber or viewer here on this channel, be sure to check out my other videos on high yield savings accounts, checking accounts, investments, credit cards, and ways to make more money. Also guys, I've left a couple links down below to free stuff, free cashback offers, so be sure to check the links down below in the description for all kinds of free stuff, right? And again, I hope this video was very helpful and I was able to provide some value to you guys. And if you like this kind of content, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. And also consider subscribing to this channel and turning on notifications so you can get updated when I post new videos here, which is at least once per day. Now, in addition to that, be sure to also share this video anywhere you think it may be able to reach more people and help someone out as well. Once again, guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. All the best with your business ventures, and until tomorrow, adios.